up, y'all? We back. We back. And when I say we back, I think I'm gonna be here the whole time. Because if if you've been watching me since I've started YouTube, you know I've done a couple seasons of the challenge, never really finished. I don't think I've finished a single season reviewing it because the seasons have been so lackluster in this new generation to where I stopped watching it halfway through the season. But All Stars 4, I've been waiting for this since they filmed it last year, as all of y'all have, I know for a fact. But we finally here, and they just dropped 2 episodes, and it's looking good. I've been waiting for this. The cast is perfect. And we here. I'm excited. On the weeks where I do work from home, which is every other week, I'm gonna try and get these up as soon as I can. I can't do it immediately because they drop these at 3:00 in the morning, and I got to get up, go to the gym. I got to work. But I'm going to try and get it done. But yeah, we're going to get into it. Please, if you are new here, thumbs up the video, drop a comment. Please do that. Engagement is so important for pushing out my videos, getting more people to me. So please leave a thumbs up. Please drop a comment on your thoughts. And most importantly, subscribe. If you are new here, please subscribe because I am going to thug it out. I'm going to finish it because I feel like this season is going to be good enough for me to actually have commentary and actually want to talk about it. But enough of that. Let's go. All right, y'all. So we start off. So TJ comes riding off on a bike in the middle of this field where the cast is, and he welcomes them to All Stars 4. Immediately, Cam, Leroy, he's excited to see them back. I'm excited to see them back. This is the first time with them being back since being parents. And they have a new reason to fight to want to win. As we all know, both of them have not won. Leroy, I don't think is ever going to win, unfortunately. Cam should have already won, but I believe if she continues to come back, she eventually will get her win. So I'm rooting for them. I want them to win. They're my favorites. I love Cam. I've always liked Leroy. I hope Leroy doesn't get in his way this season by trusting too many people. But he got Cam right there, and Cam knows how to play this game. Cam is a beast when it comes to elimination. She's a beast when it comes to strategy. So he's got somebody that's going to help him out in this game. Tony time. He is back. We ain't seen him in a while. He's got his 2 daughters and his 5-year-long fiance, Alyssa. If y'all didn't watch his season of Real World, you don't know who she is. But the fact that they've been engaged for 5 years, the last time, I think he proposed to her at that Final Reckoning reunion, which was 5 years ago. The fact that they are not married yet is crazy to me. But I'm like, okay. But Kefla, he's back. We ain't seen him in 25 years. I'm 28. I'll be 29 years old. So I didn't see his season because the last time he was on TV, I was 4 years old. So I haven't seen his season in a long time, but I had to rewatch it. But he's back. He's the first winner to ever play the game. Flora is also back. She's 51 years old. We got Nicole. Nicole is on her way to becoming a lieutenant. I am not a fan of Nicole. Never have been, never will be. She is very annoying to me, and it's annoying that her and Laurel are back because we already know that saga is going to continue. They get together, hook up, break up randomly, and have such a dramatic breakup. And then the drama starts, and they come back, and then they come back together on another show, and then they end up doing it again, talking about how much they hate each other, but still be ending up fucking and stuff. So that's annoying, but Laurel says it's not awkward that she's around her because she doesn't think about her. Because that's what, in her confessionals, the producers were asking her about her. And she said, let's move on. Laurel, we know you think about her. We know you do. Stop lying. But Rachel's back. We have not seen Rachel in a long time either. She's a 2-time champ. Cam was already looking. I could look at Cam, and whenever they was introducing Laurel, at least talking to Rachel, Cam was already sizing her up. Cam knows she's trying to get her money. She always wants to get her money, but she got a child back at home. Now has a second child, but this was filmed before she got pregnant again. She got a child back at home. Cam is going to be playing, and I know she's going to be playing hard. And you can tell she's ready to get her ass out. But Cara is back. I'm excited to see Cara. I've really grown. Cara's grown on me probably over the last 10 years. But because when she first came on the show, I couldn't stand her because I was tired of that crying. I was tired of that victim shit. But she always had to fight. So at the end of the day, she was crying and annoying me, but she had reason to do it. But I just love how tough she is now. It's made her tougher. It's made her the person that she is today. And Cara said that. She said, I'm tough. I'm strong. Tina knows that she's dangerous. Cara said she's still tough, but you ain't going to see her crying in the corner. I said, thank you, because I don't want to see that shit. But Tori, not Tori. Why did I put Tori? Tyrie. He's back. We ain't seen him, I want to say, since was it Rivals 1? I believe it was Rivals 1 when he was with Ty. But he's riding with Brandon, Leroy, and Cam. That's a smart trio to have with you. And TJ lets him know it's an individual game. So the first person that crosses first wins $250,000. That's not bad. Anybody else who crosses has to split $50K, which will piss me off. Because what if it's an 8-person final and you got to split it between 8 people? $50K split 8 ways is what? Probably what, $10,000 maybe? Yeah, charge it to my mind if I'm wrong. Math has never been my strong point, but you get the point. It's not that much money that you're going to be sharing. So they ended up heading off to the house. They have their first challenge tomorrow. They get to the house. The house is always nice for the All-Stars. All-Stars always get a nice house. This house is no different. They're having fun. Everybody's slipping and sliding. They have like these slides on the outside of the house where it's like a slide where you can jump into the water. It's cool. The house is nice. Everybody's getting to know each other, getting acquainted, catching up. We find out Jasmine is divorced, which hopefully means that she's got more seasons coming for her. We get to see old Jasmine, not the tame Jasmine, the crazy Jasmine that used to always entertain us. Jay from Ex-Plosion. Was it Ex-Plosion? Whatever Corey and Jenna's original season of Real World was. And he hadn't last been back since Exes 2 when he notoriously quit that final. And he's talking about how he's been a firefighter the last 5 years. He's known as the dude that quit. He claims that he's been practicing eating a bunch of bullshit to get prepared for this. It's just like at the end of the day, I don't want him back. I don't feel like he is an all-star, which is the reason why this show is called All-Stars. It's a bunch of the best of all time. But he's not that, but whatever. He's here. I have to deal with it. But we get Tina, Rachel, and Veronica, the trio, all back together again. This is nostalgic. Like it's giving you a lot of like old school vibes because the three of them have not been together, I want to say, on a challenge since maybe Inferno 2, I want to say, which was like, what, 2004, 2005? So that's exciting. It's exciting to see them all back together again because we've seen the All-Stars. We're on the 4th season now, and they haven't all been there together. So it's cool that they finally all made it happen. But they're excited to be back together again. Veronica said that she knows it's not going to stay this way because they're playing that game, but she's enjoying it while they're there. Ayanna's back. I love Ayanna. I don't care. She lost some weight, but Ayanna's entertaining. She's always been that, especially the last 2 seasons that she's done in this show. I'm excited to see her. She's already noticing everybody's playing already. Even though they're having these conversations and stuff, she knows there's a lot of strategy behind what's going on. People are sizing people up, and that's what she's doing. And she's trying to see how everybody's relationship is in the game so she'll know how to move. But we get her talking to Cam, and she's pretty much telling Cam, I'm looking at a champ right now. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because Cam is going to be one day. And Cam was taking it in. She loves the fact that she's believing in her. Cam talks about how she's not fully healed yet from giving birth. She's still pumping breast milk for her child. And like I said, she's thanking Ayanna for believing in her. And she knows she's still Killer Cam. She's known for winning them eliminations. And she's tough. Like, Cam is really that girl. And Ayanna wants to run the final with her. I'm like, that's a smart decision. But it's crazy because what we do know, eventually they're going to butt heads, which I am not looking forward to that. But it's going to be good TV regardless. But I love the two of them. Tyrie, he has been a personal trainer since 2013. He's coming back because he's got a 7-year-old daughter, and his temper he's no longer got that hot temper that he used to have. If you remember, you remember. But Veronica, Laurel, Tina, Rachel, and Adam and Flora, they're talking. Adam was so wild back in the day, and he's talking about he's went through different phases of who Adam is, and he's at this 4th phase of his life, and he's looking forward to being a stronger person and developing as many relationships as he can this season, so that's his goal. We get Janelle talking to Nicole, and they're connecting on the fact that they're first responders. Janelle starts talking about how Ayanna's a tough pill to swallow, which is true. She can be. Like, if you have to have an acquired taste to really be able to either like Ayanna, or if you're super sensitive, you're not going to like her. Me, I'm not a super sensitive person. The way she talks is essentially how I talk. I'm off the cuff with it. I'm very blunt. I don't really sugarcoat anything. She's not that type of person. Me, I'm not a super sensitive person. So certain things like that she says does not bother me. even though it could be wrong, but it doesn't bother me. But if you are a sensitive person, a lot of the shit that she says will have you in your feelings. But she ends up asking Nicole who she would not want to work with. And of course, Nicole says, it's obvious who I don't want to work with. We don't even have to say it, which is obviously Laurel. And she says in her confessionals that they don't speak. And Laurel is talking to Leroy, and he asks her if they speak. And she said no. Like, she wants nothing to do with Nicole. And Nicole's saying the reason why Laurel don't fuck with her is because she's still in love with her. And honestly, it's true. I believe it, because as many times as y'all be having these issues and then come right back to each other, that's the only thing that can explain it. But I'm doing this differently, y'all, today. I'm doing it like how I used to do it back in the day when I really first started YouTube. Watch a scene, pause it, watch a scene, pause it. So that's what I'm doing. I'll be back. All right, so they go to the first mission. The first mission, we find out that they must be in possession of a star to be able to compete in the final. So there's 6 stars up for grabs. The top 3 men and women will get a star. We'll get to the rest of what happens there. But Brandon, we get Brandon. Brandon's trying to get to the final. I loved Brandon growing up. I loved watching him, but he just never got past, like, I want to say episode 4 or 5 each season that he's done. So hopefully he can do it this season. But the mission is called Reach for the Stars. They all start in their own individual lane. They got 8 boxes in each one of their lanes with stars on the top, and they have to go at the end. So they have to run down to the end of the aisles of 8 boxes, and there's a bin with a bunch of stars, and they have to choose which star is the best one for that particular box that they're at. It has to match. So they have to continue that throughout all the 8 boxes, and once they finish the 8th one, they have to go up, race down and raise their flag. Top 3 women and men to do it get a star. So they begin. I ain't even really going to go through it too detailed. We're just going to get to the end. Cara was the first one to finish, of course. I don't think that was a shock to anybody. But she was the first one finished. She was the first girl finished. She wanted to set the tone as she's the baddest bitch in the house. And Laura already knows, like, that's a threat. Obviously, we go down their history. They have a rocky history as well, where they've had history where they hated each other. They have history where they worked together. So she's intrigued to see how that's going to pan out this season. I am as well. I want to see if they're actually going to work together or if they're going to be against each other. But Brad is the first guy to finish. Brad needs to shave that beard. Like, I'm sure that shit is dirty. Like, having a beard that long is crazy. And Brad be looking kind of sick. When I say sick, like, he like skinny. Like, I hope everything's good with Brad. But he's the first guy to finish. Adam finishes second for the men. Veronica's happy about it because she knows that she can rely on him. She knows he's not going to, if he has power, he's not going to put her up. Brandon's the third finisher for the guys. So he's excited. He's trying to set the tone for himself and show the people that he's there to compete. So all 3 male stars have been grabbed. Kefla has an emotional moment because he finishes, and it's the first time he's competed in a challenge in 25 years. So it was emotional for him. Averey is the second girl to finish. She's proud that she's actually in the winner's circle, and I'm excited to see Averey back this season. We haven't seen her back since, I want to say, the first or second episode of, was it Rivals? No, it was X's 3, I want to say, if I remember correctly. So it's been a minute since we've seen her. She's back. She's doing good. Obviously, she should. She's one of the younger ones. In my opinion, I feel like she should be at the top of the list. Rachel is the last girl to get her star. Nobody's shocked about that. Rachel, even though she's older, she's still fit. She's still active. Cara notices that. She loves the fact that she's competing, and she's competing well because Cara wants to compete. She wants to be against the best. We all know that. And that would be me. I want to compete against the best, even though I want to get out people that's going to be a hindrance for me in the end. But at the end of the day, I would love to beat the best people at the end. So we finished that. We find out of the 6 star holders, there's going to be 2 winners, so a male or a female. And, of course, Brad and Cara Maria were the ones that won because they were the first 2 to finish for each gender. So they're the only 2 stars that are safe. We find that out. So 6 stars, but only 2 are safe for that particular elimination. The stars can be stolen, and the only way to keep them safe is to win the challenge. So you have to win the mission every single day. The bottom 4 up for Jeopardy, the 4 women, is Tina, Jasmine, Flora, and Veronica. I don't think that's a shock. Leroy, Derek, Tyrie, and Steve. I also don't think that's a shock. It's actually terrible for Leroy, though, because, like, Leroy, you need to get it together. Leroy, this is why you're never going to win. Because you got to win some of these dailies. Like, Cam can win eliminations and always will, but she also can win dailies. And even if she doesn't win them, she can at least get to the point where she's not in the bottom. Leroy has that issue. He got to fix that. But the middle group, which is everybody that was safe but not in the bottom two or the bottom four, they get to go back and vote 2 men to send into the elimination because it's a male elimination day. So they get back home. They're at the house. Brad is happy to win, but he's wondering if this star is going to put a target on his back. It should. Steve feels like the easiest decision to choose between the bottom 4 is to choose the 2 worst. And at that point, he's thinking Leroy and Derek because they performed the worst. But he knows it's not as simple as that. Like, people have built-in relationships, and that's going to take heat, and that's going to be a big factor into how everybody votes. Nobody's going to vote out somebody that they have connections with that will protect them in the end. So, granted, it will make sense to vote out the 2 worst ones, but if 2 people in the bottom are people that you're aligned with, you're not going to do that because that's going to fuck you in the end. But they get to the next day, they start deliberating, and Leroy's talking about how, well, this is before they start deliberating. He starts talking about how him and Cam's relationship is, where they have days where they don't fuck with each other, but he never has a thought where he's going to leave her, which is true. Like, in relationships, it's not always going to be great. And I feel like the relationships that are untested or you're always agreeing on stuff, I don't feel like those are genuine relationships. You're going to have moments where you disagree. And I feel like it's healthy to have those moments in relationships because you got to see if you're going to stick it out. And that's just what it is. But Cam wants to step up her social game this season. She knows, you could tell in this moment, she could tell, like, she already realized, okay, Leroy's not performing. He's not going to perform well. So I'm going to have to pick up the slack. And she knows that specifically in this particular first elimination, she's going to have to do that because he is in jeopardy. She's going to try her best to make sure that she gets the connections to work in their favor because they have a baby at home. They're not out here playing like they used to where it was just for them. They have a child at home that they need to feed, and that's why they're there to get that money. So we start the deliberations. The middle group starts deliberating. Rachel asked the group who they're thinking of voting in. Cam was like, let's not put Leroy in. And everybody starts like, we're not going to do that. But you can tell a lot of people were wanting to do that. But then again, Cam has that presence. She's known as Killer Cam. She's not somebody you want to fuck with. She's not somebody you want to get on your bad side. And Averey immediately picks up on that and knows, like, she's called Killer Cam for a reason. And she wants her on her side. And at this point, I don't blame you because you're not going to be able to beat her. So why not just bring her to your side as long as you can? So Kefla starts asking about, like, are y'all voting off of relationships? Because he don't have anybody. And Ryan's like, yeah, I mean, that's the only way we really can at this point. And Ryan is tight with Derek, who is up for elimination. So he wants to protect him. And Janelle says what I would have said, like, everybody can vote the way y'all want to vote. I don't know why everybody's asking how are we voting. Vote the way you want to vote. It's the first elimination, but this is All Stars. Don't start that, like, tag up shit that is on the flagship show that we can't stand. That's why the show gets boring. Do what the fuck you want to do. And that's what she pretty much said. And I'm like, yes, exactly. So they do their votes. And we get down to the 2 people that are nominated, which is Tyrie and Steve. So those 2 are the 2 that are going into elimination. So Tyrie knows it's a popularity contest. He knows he don't have to like it. He can respect it, but he don't have to like it. But he knows he doesn't have the best track record when it comes to elimination. So he's trying to rewrite history. Steve, like me, low-key, has a soundtrack going on in his mind that he's playing over and over again. I always have a soundtrack in my mind when I'm trying to do something that I want and I don't actually have music, something that gets me, like, motivated. I do the same thing. So that's essentially what he's doing. So we get to the elimination. We find out from TJ that the only way to possess a star is by stealing one of the stars now, because all 6 stars that were available to get have been given out. So, like he said at the mission, the only 2 that are safe are the 2 that won the challenge. So he then throws a curveball. The winners have the option to go down there and play to secure a star. And what he means by that, they can keep the one that they have, but they can also still win a star and take that star and give it to an ally or whatever. Cam's wheels was just turning. She's like, okay, boom. Because I know how to win eliminations. At this point, Leroy, he probably going to be up for elimination as much as possible because he can't win dailies. So she's thinking, okay, well, I might need to go down there one day and steal a star and give it to him. Smart. And she might end up doing it. But we get to the elimination. It's called Catching a Falling Star. They had this dirty, nasty pit in the middle of the center of the arena. We got these 2 cannons loaded on the side where they're going to throw out balls. And they have to find 12 balls with stars on them and stack them one at a time. Whoever finishes first wins. So TJ then asked Brad, because it's a male elimination, are you willing to risk it all and come down here and play? He said, fuck no. Like, I'm not doing it. And I would have been like, no, I'm not doing it either, because at this point, I don't really have a reason to go give somebody a star and then to put a target on his back that he already has there anyway, since he has a star to save. So they begin, and Tyrie starts off killing it. Like, he was killing it. And I was shocked, because Tyrie don't have a good track record in eliminations, and Leroy's rooting for him because he knows that's somebody that he would have an ally with. Steve starts realizing, like, 5 balls in, like, Tyrie got 5 to his 1. He's like, we going heads up every single time, and there's no way I'm gonna win because this nigga is big. Like, I'm gonna have to switch up my strategy. And he does. He starts finding balls and like storing them to the side where Tyrie can't see them. So eventually he just grabs as many balls as he can. So at the end of the day, if it comes down to it, he can just sprint and go back and get them balls. And that's eventually what happened, because it got so close towards the end where Tyrie was like stretched ahead of him, but Steve started picking it back up because he had the ball stored, and it gets to 11 out of 12. And he found out that he forgot one of them balls that he had stored, and that's how he won. Steve won the elimination. I was low-key sad for Tyrie because I wanted him to win, because I wanted him to get his first win. But he got eliminated. He's taking it on the chin. He's keeping it moving, and he wants Brandon to win. Steve ends up stealing the guy's star. And if he steals the guy's star, it goes to him. But if he stole a woman's star, it would have to go to a woman. But he ends up stealing Brandon's because Brandon had voted him in. I'm like, that's a weak reason, but I guess it makes sense too. It's a safe choice. But Brandon said he ain't tripping because he knows you're going to have to get it back. And at this point, I'm going to get it back from you. Essentially, that's pretty much what he said. I'm going to get it back in blood because you took it from me. So keep in mind, you took it from me, so I'm going to get it back from you. But that was the end of the first episode. I do know there's 2 episodes. Probably not going to get the second one done tonight because I got to work out. I do 2 a days at least the next 3 months because my golden year birthday is coming. I'm trying to live right. But I'm going to try and get it out as soon as possible. Maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, probably Saturday. But y'all let me know what y'all thought. Drop the comments down below. Subscribe if you are new here. Please thumbs up the video. And please interact. Thumbs up, drop a comment. Just do that. But yeah, I'll see y'all then. Peace. Good episode.